Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today, we will be talking about a very important and sensitive topic, which is concerning all parents, most of the parents and kids, which is related to the mental health of children. What we have observed is that mental health issues are becoming very common nowadays in the society. There is a urgent need for parents to understand their responsibilities as parents to take care of the mental health of their children. It is also more so because most of the parents are working. We are staying in nuclear families, so it is also affecting the mental health of the kids. And so so we'll be talking about what are the responsibilities, our responsibilities as parents, that we can do our bit in order to take care of mental health issues in our children. So we have Mrs. Rohini Kumar with us. She is a qualified child development specialist with more than 2 decades of rich experience. She has worked with mainstream as well as special children, and she has worked with school as a school counselor, and she's presently working as a remedial educator with one of the organizations. Welcome, Rohini ji, and thank you so much for joining me to talk about this topic. Uh, so, Rohini ji, we would want to start with the basic question to understand what is mental health. Just if you can help us understand what is mental health so that parents would be clear about it.
Yeah. See, actually, mental health, it includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and act. Okay. It also helps us in handling our stress and relating to others and making choices in life. Okay. Mental health, as we know, is important in every stage of life. It's from childhood and adolescence through adulthood.
So, Rohini ji, you just said that it is spread across childhood to adolescence and to adulthood. So,
Yeah.
when we focus on childhood, can you tell us what is mental health in childhood would be?
Yeah, mental health in childhood, it means like, reaching the developmental and emotional milestones. Yeah, the children reach like different milestones at every age, right? So it is like reaching the developmental and emotional milestones. And also they learn healthy social skills as well at this stage. So then they learn how to cope up when there are problems. Whenever there are problems, they also learn how to cope up with those problems. So when the child is healthy mentally, so all these things come properly. Otherwise, there could be a lag in certain of these areas. So
Okay,
that is what is mental health in children. Yeah.
okay. So, Rohini ji, if you say, no, we understood about what is mental health and in childhood, what does it mean? What, as parents, can we do to contribute to the mental well-being of our kids? Can you give us some tips about it?
Yeah, see, it is like the parents are everything. We teach the children, we contribute either to develop the good mental health in children, or maybe we are sometimes damaging it as well.
Mhm.
Okay. So I can just give you an example. See, when the child cries, we usually don't ask the child, like, what is the reason? Okay. So we just tell them, you should not cry. You're such a brave child and all that. And then we also say, like, we use some gender analogies. That is the inadmissible gender analogies we can call. We say, like, boys don't cry, and why you're crying like a girl, and all these things. So those things that we tend to do, like the child takes it that like it's a negative feeling which is not supposed to be shown.
Mhm.
Okay, and at times like we say, okay, the others are looking at you and you're crying. So all these things like put the child, like give the child an idea like these negative things are not to be shown, and only happy things are to be shown. So here like we are letting the child shut down. Okay, the child will not cry at least in front of you, or will not share his problems with you.
Mhm.
So we'll have to be very careful about this.
Okay. Okay. So the we understand that for mental well-being, a child also needs to express one's feelings. It's very difficult for parents also to understand what the child is feeling until and unless the child expresses. So, as a parent, can we do anything about it? Encourage our child to express feelings?
Yeah, we can. Like, we need to teach the child the language of feelings. That is like when the child is angry with certain things. Okay, let us just take an example. Like, the child has nobody to play with that evening and he's very angry. So then we can tell him, like, I understand you're angry because you don't have your friends with you today. So then we can just tell the child we can do something else, or then let the child cope up. He should understand. And then he also understands that he's angry. Okay, so that is okay to say that I'm angry. And also when he's irritated, like we tell him for certain reasons he might be irritated. So we can just take an example and say like your car battery is not working, so it is okay. Getting irritated is okay. So now here we are doing two things. We are giving him the words to give out his feelings, as well as we are telling him it's okay to speak out such feelings.
Okay. And if the child doesn't understand, we are trying to teach them the language. But no, everybody, all of us are not equipped as parents to teach them. Maybe we ourselves don't know what these feelings, what the language of this feeling is. So, what if the child is not able to still express? We are not able to teach them the language, or they're still not able to express. Then, what should we do?
Yeah, not all the children are able to express, and
Yeah.
especially young children, like the younger ones, so they are
Mhm.
not able to express. Yeah, so what we need to do is we need to keep observing the child. Okay, observe the child for any changes in his behavior, okay, in his moods or all that. So what we can always like keep the observing the child as well for a longer period. It's not that just one day like the child is moody and we come to the conclusion there's something wrong. So it is not
Right.
that. Yeah, so like if the child is very quiet, sitting in a corner, not talking to people, or it could be he's simply throwing temper tantrums for nothing at all, and
Okay.
also could be fighting with his friends. Okay, that might happen for many times. It's not that once again.
Okay.
So just once, what I mean to say is just
Right.
once, but
Mhm.
then it has to go on for a period, for a longer period. So then we notice like there's a change in the behavior of the child. Then we speak to the child and then let him know, like, find out what exactly is the problem. So,
Okay.
of course, there are specialists later on. We can take the child to a specialist who will just help them out. Yeah.
Okay.
First is the
So these are
observing. Yeah.
right. So these are the symptoms basically which
Yeah.
we can look out for, and then if need be, take action accordingly.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Rohini ji, I wanted to understand regarding these struggles. It is very normal for everybody to have struggles in life. But nowadays, when we see children, then they're getting everything, whatever they speak up and they get it.
Mm.
Maybe because we are nuclear, we are working, so those guilts that parents are carrying with them, and everything is served to them on a platter.
Mm.
And also, when the struggle comes in, when somebody says no to them, then it comes as a challenge for them to accept it. How do we make our children understand that this is normal? You will not get everything on a platter, and struggles are normal, and it should not affect them.
Yeah, struggles are normal and we have gone through it. So our children also go through it. Yeah, it may
Definitely.
not be, the struggles may not be like the same for everyone. So
Mhm.
we need to just give examples from our own life or people around and then tell them like, look, everybody has struggles. Okay, this child is going through this and the other child is going through, though we are not comparing the children there. Okay, so we need to speak to the child about like our own struggles. We can just give examples from their life. So I can just give you an example from my own life, which happened with my daughter. Okay, so she was like 5 years old, and then we had to move from one place to another. Okay, so then at that point of time, we moved to a place where people did not speak much of English. So later on, like in a year or so, we had to move to our hometown. So, which is like mostly the nursery child also speaks in English. So my daughter had a problem like getting to make friends. So she was very upset. So then I told her like what happened to me in my childhood. That is when we moved from one place to another because of the dialects, the difference in the dialects of the places, and how people made fun of us, and how we could cope up with it. Okay, so it becomes important to tell them that, but it's not that we just tell them like I could do it, so you can do it. Okay, not that way. We just have to be empathetic with the child, tell him or her that we understand your problem, but this is the way I could cope up with it, and you can also do it. Yeah, so I'm here to support you, and you can do that. So just give examples from our own life, and so we can just tell them, or also we can give them different stories also, like stories, and at times we can even make up the stories. It's not that there could be like the real stories like that, so we can just help them in that way.
Yeah, so I like your idea of making up stories, because instead of comparing like this
Yeah.
child did this, we can put it in a story and explain it to them. So there, the problem of comparison would also not be there,
Not be there, yes.
right? Uh, Thank you so much, Rohini ji. I think we were able to cover the basics of how, as parents, we can make or break the child's mental well-being, and how we can teach them to express their feelings and to express themselves. I'm sure this will be beneficial to most of us as parents. As an ending note, would you want to tell us something which maybe I couldn't cover in my questions? Anything that you would want that you think is important for us to know when talking about mental well-being of our kids?
Yeah, there's one or two more things which I would like to say. That is like, what happens? The parents themselves, like, if they're not able to, like, talk about their feelings, okay? And earlier, like, the children, like, the children should be seen and not heard. Of course, that generation is gone, but still, the certain families have that, so then they cannot express their own feelings. But when they have their own kids, they should not continue that, and then they should let the child know it is okay to speak out, and then give the feelings out, and then feel better while speaking out. Like once they speak out the feelings, they feel better. So they have to show them like they're not afraid to speak out, and then get their feelings out. And so that is one thing the parents can do. And one more thing could be like not keep on commenting on the child, the negatives of the child. Usually, what parents want the best in the child. Okay, so we try to show them the negatives,
Right.
so then the child keeps on listening to the negative things, and then has that in his mind, and then that creates a lot of stress and anxiety in the child. So to do better, like compare them with the other child, so he wants to be better than that child, so that way it creates a lot of stress, creates a lot of anxiety in the children. So these two things have to be taken care of by the parents, like not comparing the child, and also not talking very negatively about the child.
Mhm.
So these are the things are very important as such.
Right, right. Yeah, that's true, and yeah, it also boils back to the comparing part.
Yeah.
Not talking negative and focusing on, because whatever you keep on talking about, it gets embedded in the child's mind also.
Mm.
It has a negative impact. So thank you so much, Rohini ji. I think that was really helpful. And for all the people who are also watching us, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any further questions, you can write to us, and we will be happy to take it. And we'll connect again with several other topics related to mental well-being of kids. Thank you so much, and have a nice day ahead. Thank you.